Let's do this. My hair's all messy. Mind, body, soul, mind, body, spirit, right? Back from the gym. I'm behind schedule. I'm eating my yogurt this morning. I guess I won't do that again. Um, chapter 12 today, chapter 12, No Limits by John Maxwell. This is abundance capacity, your choice to believe how much is available. John Maxwell says that when he was a teenager, he used to stay up late, right? He'd stay as late as he could, but in the mornings, when he was up and out of bed and at it, right? And um, he said the reason he did it is because he didn't want to miss anything. And he said, what was he going to miss? He's living in this little teeny town in Ohio. Um, and he said he expected something wonderful and exciting to happen every day, and he wanted to experience it fully. Man, I love the morning time. To me, the mornings are my most productive time. I wake up. I typically, and everybody's different, but I typically wake up like that. As soon as my eyes open, I am wide awake, and I am ready. Ready to go. Um, John Maxwell says his abundance capacity is very high, and abundance capacity is the ability to believe that is your choice, rather, to believe that that there's enough for everybody. There is enough out. There's enough business out there for everybody. In the real estate world, a lot of times people are afraid to share their success stories, right? For fear that somebody else is going to take their business away from them. And the reality is there's plenty of business out there. There's plenty of business out there for us. Um, eh, the fact of the matter is a lot of people just don't work very hard and don't want to work very hard. Um, but if somebody is successful, and I put this in the description, some people believe that there's only so much success to go around, right? There's only so many people that can be successful in any given you know endeavor, field, or whatever, and that if you're not one of those, then you're not going to succeed, right? Some people get tempted by, and that's what's called scarcity thinking, right? um, I don't ever want to think. I don't ever want to think in terms of scarcity. I always want to come at things from a place of abundance, and I counsel. I counsel and I coach people to come at everything from a position of abundance. Right? We get what we think about. Right? If we think about the fact that there's no money in the bank account, if every time that we go to use that debit card or whatever, we got to wonder, is there enough money, or that we're thinking from a place of scarcity, and we don't want to do that. Now, that doesn't mean be stupid and go out and just spend a bunch of money you don't have, right? But you have to be looking at things from a place of abundance. What do you want out of life? Not what do you need, right? uh, when you say this is what I need, then that's coming at it from a position of scarcity, right? As opposed to this is what I want, right? A want is abundance, is abundance. So um, um, so John Maxwell thinks about scarcity instead of abundance. He said every time when he was faced with a major decision about the direction that he would take in his life, he looked at the change that would be required, and he said, I wanted to choose what I knew. He said, the thing that was safe, instead of striking out in a new direction where the potential for greater accomplishment lay, right? And he said the first time this happened, he was 33 years old. He was leading a church, doing things that he was very comfortable doing, but he was offered a chance to take his ideas about leadership outside of the church, outside of the area where he had developed and used them successfully, and try them out on a larger scale with dozens of other churches. And so he was faced with a decision, right? He said, should I stay where I was comfortable or strike out in the new world? Um, the people that wanted him to stay made the decision very difficult. And he said for 2 years, he weighed both options, but finally his decisions came down on the side of abundance. He left the church to train leaders in a different organization. So I just recently had the same issue, in my own life. Now I'm thinking about it from this perspective, but an opportunity to, an opportunity to stretch and to grow. But it meant leaving the place where I was and where I had been for many years. Um, but I did opportunity. I didn't have that opportunity to stretch and grow and to affect more people. I took it, and it was a hard decision. It was not an easy decision. There were sleepless nights, and a sense of loyalty involved. Um, but I had to move to, a position where there's growth involved, and so I did, and so far so far so good. But um, that you have to look at it that way. I could have sat and said, okay, here's all the things that could go wrong. I can stay here and everything will be good, but you can't do that. You can't live from that position of abundance. I mean, from scarcity, right? In general, right? John Maxwell says, in general, scarcity lives on the other side of no, and abundance lives on the other side of yes. So, what does it look like to live on the other side of no? On the other side of no is limiting, right? It directs you away from new opportunities. It's easy because when you say no, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go anywhere. It's comforting, right? Because it feels familiar. And a lot of more people are more worried about losing a little than they are about gaining a lot, right? The fear of loss. The book Influence by Robert Cialdini is a good example of that. Um, so it's comforting. On the other side of no is comforting. It's deceiving. It appears to be safer, but it's not, right? Um, Stephen Pressfield, John Maxwell quotes Stephen Pressfield, says it's one thing to lie to ourselves, it's another thing to believe it. And then on the other side of no, it's crowded because that's where average people are, right? Grant Cardone, Grant Cardone, so you can't afford to be average, right? Can't afford to be average. So what does it look like? What does the other side of yes look like? On that, what does it look like coming from a place of abundance? Number one, it's exciting, man. It's exciting. You need creativity to help you um, figure it out. Tina Fey said, say yes and figure it out afterwards. John Maxwell says, jump and build your wings on the way down. Um, Living on the other side of yes is enlarging because abundance creates more abundance. It's challenging because new paths aren't always the easiest to walk on. And it's rewarding because on the other side of yes, you usually find what? More yeses, more yeses, right? Living a life of no decreases your options, right? And what do we want in life? We want options more than anything else, right? Um, so, what are the characteristics of people with a high abundance capacity? Right, here's his list. Number one, abundance people possess high beliefs. They believe in themselves and they say there is more to me than what people see, right? One of the I think on the downside of that, right, the opposite side of that is imposter syndrome, right? You think, why me? Why should anybody listen to me? What do I have to offer? Here I am. I'm afraid that somebody's going to pull away the curtain and find, the Wizard of Oz is just a man, right? So abundance people possess a high belief. There's more to me than what people see. They believe in other people, right? They say there's more to others than I can see, right? They look at people and look for the potential and the possibilities there, not just um, not just outward appearance, right? Believe in people. I always try to believe that people are good until you prove yourself otherwise. Now, sometimes you get burned, right? Sometimes you get burned, but more often than not, you find the true. That's where you find the true friendship, true loyalty, right? Is by putting trust in people. Trust but verify, right? But give people the benefit of the doubt. I That's how I try to look at it, right? People with abundance mindset believe in today. There's more in today than I can see. That's why I love the morning, right? The morning is just it's It's a day filled with new possibilities, new opportunities, right? That sun comes up and starts shining, and whether it's shiny or whether it's behind the clouds or whatever, it gets light, right? We know that. We know with reasonable certainty, right? With reasonable certainty that tomorrow morning, that this morning, it's not quite 6 o'clock yet, so the sun's not up yet, but it's going to come up, and it's going to shine on a day filled with opportunities and possibilities if you just look for them and take advantage of them, right? So there's more to today than I can see. Um, and they believe in tomorrow because I'm almost positive the sun is going to come up tomorrow too, and we will have another day filled with possibilities, right? There's more out there. There's more in the future. People think I'm too old, right? I'm too old to do this. Zig Ziglar was in his 60s, I think, before he got quote unquote famous, right? Um, so it's the future is out there. Abundance people have the power to understand, or abundance people rather understand the power of perspective, right? Our perspective is not determined by what we see; it's determined by how we see, right? We look at things from different angles, right? We look at things from different angles. A scarcity person will say, "There's no way," or "This is the way we've always done it," right? We can't, right? A person from a position of abundance says, how can we? Not we can't, not we can't, but how can we? What if, right? There's got to be a better way, right? An abundance person sees it. There's got to be a better way. Abundance people are generous to others, right? And remember, when I say generous, that doesn't just mean money, right? That doesn't just mean, it doesn't mean that you just give money out. You're abundant. You're generous with your time. You're generous with your treasures, your witness, right? In the Methodist Church, we ask people to be generous with their time, their treasures, their presence, their gifts, their service, right? Their witness, right? There are other kinds of generosity that have nothing to do with money, right? And that includes giving people a chance, giving others the benefit of the doubt, giving other people a reason to want to work with you, right? Giving other people opportunities or resources or information, giving people credit when they're successful, giving them grace when they make mistakes, right? Generosity of spirit, right? Abundance people are generous to others, right? So here's our questions. Here's our checklist for today, right? Number one, when faced with an opportunity, are you naturally a yes person or a no person? A little reflection time, right? The reflection is sometimes, I won't say painful, but could be, right? But get through it. Get through it. That time of reflection. Be true to yourself, right? Remember, it's okay to lie to yourself, but it's another thing to believe it, right? So when faced with opportunity, are you naturally a yes person or a no person? If abundance usually means saying yes, what can you do to prompt yourself to say yes more often? Right. Number two, belief in abundance begins with a person's belief in yourself. How would you rate your self belief? Do you believe I can do it, or are you a why? Why me? Why shouldn't anyone listen to me person? Right? How do you rate your self belief? Is it high, medium, low? What do you need to do to raise it up and put yourself in a position to embrace a stronger abundance mindset? And number three, what are you currently looking at in your life and saying there's no way? Right? Pick something that's important to you and tell yourself there's got to be a better way, and start brainstorming ideas for how you can move forward positively. Remember, a good idea, a good idea isn't always its best at its first, the first time you put it out there. And I forget which capacity it was, but the capacity, working with others, right? You've got that idea. You say, I can do this. What if we did this, right? What if there were no, um, what if we tried this? What's the worst that could happen? Right. And brainstorm that, not just with brainstorm it with yourself, but get it out there in front of other people and let them help you make that idea better. Right. today is the first day of the rest of your life. That was used to be a commercial, right? Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Um, Jim Rohn, Jim Rohn said, um, if you don't like something about your life, change it. You're not a tree, right? A tree has no choice. A tree grows where it is, and doesn't go anywhere. You're not a tree. You can do anything that you put your mind to. Maybe you can't physically do it yourself, but you could find somebody to work with to do it, right? Maybe two of you can do the heavy lifting. I don't know. But wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you don't if you don't like the way things are, change it. Change it. You can do it. If you have an abundance mindset to go along with it, your abundance capacity. Okay, that's it for today. Um, I'm going to record a couple of extras of these so that we finish this book next week, um, on the 30th, right? So that on the 4th of December, because we won't meet on the 1st of December, that's Friday, but on the 4th of December we will start a new book, and we're going to do The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, right? The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Is one of Darren Hardy's mentors. Um, and we'll finish up the year with that, right, to get us going. Remember, the things that you're doing today, the results that you have today, especially if you're in real estate, since most of us are, most folks are in real estate. But the business that you're doing today is a result of the things that you did 60 days ago, 90 days ago. The things that your business in January 2024, right around the corner, January, February, March, the first quarter of 2024 is determined by what you are doing now. This is the building blocks these days, these last 40 days of December of 2023, are your building blocks for 2024, right? It should have started a little while ago, but start today, right? If the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, the second best time to plant a tree today. Ancient Chinese proverb. Man, I throw all kinds of stuff at you, don't I? Get out there, make today the best day ever so far. We'll see you tomorrow. Millionaire Mindset Book Club. Bye.